What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. I got a video for you guys this afternoon on spring break. Got some time to do some predictions. I'm gonna do about 4 or 5 videos today. But this one is a prediction for Willie Casey versus Guillermo Rigondeaux, which takes place on March 19th, which is this Saturday. It's gonna be for the WBA Interim Super Bantamweight Championship. Puts together the champion, Guillermo Rigondeaux, versus the challenger Willie Casey. Willie Casey's coming off a 4th round knockout victory over Paul Highland back in November, and Rigondeaux is coming off of a split decision victory over Carl Cordoba on the undercard, the Manny Pacquiao Antonio Margarito matchup that took place in Dallas last November. So a lot of people are talking about Rigondeaux's last fight and how Rigondeaux didn't look too good in the matchup. But you got to take into consideration that there were two counter punchers. I believe both of them were two southpaw counter punchers, and so overall, stylistically, it's a difficult matchup to score, a difficult matchup to do for any type of fighter, because somebody has to take the lead in the matchup, and that's more than likely the reason that the matchup didn't look too well. Looked too good for Rigondeaux and didn't bring up any quote-unquote marketability for him. But this is a different fight. This is a perfect matchup for him against Willie Casey. Willie Casey's by no means a counter puncher. He comes forward and he throws a lot of punches. But anyway, I'm going to get into the matchup. Willie Casey in this matchup, Willie Casey, to me, I believe, is one-dimensional. He's a fighter that just comes forward and punches. And in this specific matchup, in order for him to win, he's going to have to beat up Guillermo Rigondeaux. He's going to have to find a way to actually get inside that lead foot, and I don't know if he has the footwork to do it. Doesn't really have too much head movement neither. So really, I just think that Casey's going to have to find a way inside. He's going to have to get the head on the chest. And he's going to have to really test the patience of Guillermo Rigondeaux, because Rigondeaux is a patient fighter. And he's going to have to find a way for his punches to touch and land Rigondeaux. And, throw punches in bunches, throw, like I said, combos, flurries, just, you name it, just throw a lot of punches in this matchup and just beat him up. He throws a very good straight left to the body. He throws a very good left hook to the body. He throws a decent right hook to the body. Different body punches will do it, I think. But he's gonna have to follow up all of his shots if he doesn't get countered in between. I think just following up all the shots, just basically making it an in fight. That's basically gonna be the only way for Casey to win, is just get inside and just beat up Rigondeaux. Throw the he's a southpaw as well. And he does throw the straight right very well, but I think he does need to kind of throw towards his. The straight right's not gonna work against an elusive target. So he's probably gonna have to throw his jab towards the chest and follow it up with maybe a left hand. So that's just gonna be the way for Willie Casey to win this matchup. It's quite, with that one-dimensional style, you can't really analyze too much with it. For Guillermo Rigondeaux, in this matchup, I believe that Willie Casey's going to play right into his counterpunching. Willie Casey, I think his footwork is horrendous somewhat. He throws his punches very wide, leaves his punches out there. He winds up his shots and doesn't really move his head. He doesn't really move his head. If he's on offense, he doesn't get the glove back in time. So in this matchup, counterpunching is gonna do the trick. Counterpunching between, just punching in between Willie Casey's shots. If he punches in between the shots, then I think he's gonna be able to land before Willie Casey lands. And also, Willie Casey's gonna have to find a way to. He's gonna have to make, if he counters with short punches, like short hooks, straight right, straight lefts inside, then Willie Casey, then Willie Casey's gonna have to find a way to adjust to his style, and it's like being a one-dimensional type fighter, a fighter that just comes out and fights from bell to bell. Um, if he makes Willie Casey have to adapt, I don't think it's gonna be a good night for Casey. I don't think he can go in and just box. Just straight up box, stand outside. I think his temperament is to fight. But Guillermo Rigondeaux, he likes to stand outside and wait for his opportunities. Wait for different opportunities. He's very assertive. He's more assertive than aggressive with his punches. So if he just lands a good assortment of counter shots, I think he's the more solid puncher of the two. I just think that Willie Casey's going to play into his game, and I really don't have much for Rigondeaux because this is just a matchup that shouldn't be difficult for Rigondeaux. Counter punching, a lot of movement, just a lot of movement in general. Using the ring effectively, using the ring to set up your shots, because you can use movement to set up your shots. Use the angles to set up specific shots, and Casey doesn't have the footwork to kind of move accordingly. He doesn't necessarily. All he does is kind of walk in a straight line, or sometimes in a circle. So if he uses his footwork very well, he should very well take this match to set up his shots if he's not going to counter. But with all that said, as I mentioned, as you can probably tell by now, I'm going with Guillermo Rigondeaux by probably an ninth round knockout or stoppage, because I just think that he's a more skilled fighter. I just think the calm temperament is going to do it for itself. Like I said in the previous video, counter punches are the trickiest fighters to prepare against, and I don't know if Willie Casey's preparing, for other dimensions of Guillermo Rigondeaux's game. That's something he's preparing for. I think he's kind of prepared to just go out and fight and think that Rigondeaux's going to fight with him, and I don't think he's going to fight with him. I think Willie Casey's going to come out, he's going to be aggressive, but Rigondeaux, I just think that Rigondeaux, he's going to play in Rigondeaux's type of atmosphere. He's going to play his game, and Rigondeaux takes this matchup by 8th and 9th round stoppage. So anyway, guys, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.